sit. In this video, I'm going to go over what I like to call petting with a purpose. Now, as I talked about in a previous video, anything your dog is doing when you pet it is what you're specifically rewarding. And a lot of us pet our dogs at the wrong time. Most classic example is puppies jump up on you and we pet them for doing that. We train them to jump up us on command. Well, the alternative is also true. If we pet our dogs when they, or redirect them into things we want and then pet them for doing that instead of petting them for doing things we don't want, we can reinforce the behaviors we like. So let's say that 11 here is not as well behaved as she is and she's nudging. A lot of dogs take their nose and nudge you, they paw at you, or they also do what we call demand barking. There's barking, give me some attention. So if your dog's doing any of those things and you pet it, you're reinforcing it to the dog, yes, you're in charge of me, because when you tell me as a human what to do as a dog, I do whatever you tell me to do. And after a while, the dog gets a distorted perception of reality and thinks that it can actually is responsible for you or needs to be possessive of you. I deal with this a lot in my in-home dog behavior sessions. So what I want to do, 11, if I want to pet her, I'm going to ask her to sit. I use this little hand gesture, sit. Then I pet under the chin. Remember, when a dog feels good about itself, his nose is in the air. So pet under the chin when all things are equal. Never pat a dog on top of the head. That creates a down nose orientation. You can caress and you can scratch, just never pat. But if somebody came up to you and they were 12 feet tall and stuck a giant hand over your head, you kind of duck down. We're all about 12 feet tall to every puppy. So get in the habit of all things are equal, pet on the chin. And you can also scratch the chest or their side, but if all things are equal, pet them. 11. So I like to use my hand like this, and the lower I go, the more it's for the dog. When she comes to me, I'm going to raise an arc over her head and put her in a sit, sit. And then I pet her under her chin, and I can pet her now for as long as I want. What I'm saying is when you tell the human what to do by nudging, nothing happens, other than the human gives you a counter order, crash. So if the dog, she came up and nudged me or jumped up on me, I tell her to sit. When she sits, I pet her and say sit. So if she tells me what to do, that's her having what I refer to as a leadership mindset. I'm in charge of the human, I can give them orders. A follower's mindset is to ask. And if you do this enough, what will happen is the dog will come sit in front of you to prepay for attention. Hey, I'm sitting, sit. Should we be petting you? Yes, we should. And if your dog does that and you don't start petting it, when it does that, it's going to go back to nudging you, pawing at you, barking at you for attention. So you don't have to do it all the time, but do as much as you want because the dog is doing something that you like. You need to think of this exercise the same way that you would teach your children to say please or thank you. It's going to take a lot of repetition. It's very, very easy, but it takes a lot of practice. So after a while, like I said, the dog will come and sit in front of you and prepay for the attention, and then you're petting them for that. Now, I have people that ask me, what about if I just want to pet the dog? And I usually have a funny story that I'll tell, but I'll give you the more expeditious version. I had a woman that inadvertently petted her dog. I asked her to stop petting her dog, and she involuntarily reached over 3 times in 15 seconds to pet her dog when she intended not to do so. So I call this paycheck. So if someone comes in the room and sees that I'm petting 11 and 11's standing, they might assume that I forgot to ask the dog to pet, to do something first, or I forgot to pet with a purpose. So they say paycheck to me, and I say, no, I asked her to sit, you missed it when you flushed the toilet, she stood up and I continued petting her. Well, the dog is then like, well, the humans are not on the same page, I can be on my own page too. Instead, if somebody comes in and says paycheck to me, I immediately stop petting, I tell the dog to sit or lay down or do something desirable. When it does, I pet him on his chin, say the word sit, and then I tell the person, actually, I asked the person to sit, you missed it, but thanks for reminding me. Remember, it's a gentle reminder, so don't bicker with each other because that will also confuse the dog. Petting with a purpose is one of the easiest things that you can do in terms of return on investment. There's probably nothing else that you can do that will have a bigger impact on your dog. And it is supremely easy, but the way that it works is through a lot of repetition. So make sure that everyone in the house is petting with a purpose. Even if you want to pet the dog, ask it to sit, but especially if the dog is telling you what to do. The more you pet with a purpose, the more your dog will start to pro-offer these desired behaviors, and now you have a dog that everyone interprets as being a polite, well-mannered dog, just because you pet it